Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to our lecturer for Power Generation, Transmission and Distribution subject, Puan Rohaiza binti Hamdan. My name is Nur Syahada binti Musa. In this video, me and my other team's member will present our project titled Design of Solar System for a Single-Story House. Based on the line of title, it is clearly stated that we choose single-story house for the chosen building in this project, and we choose solar system as the renewable generation for this project. For the introduction, sunlight that emitted the heat and radiant energy can be converted into the solar power, which is one of the clean and green electricity. It is a renewable free source of energy that is sustainable and totally inexhaustible, unlike fossil fuels, which are finite. It is also a non-polluting source of energy, and it does not emit any greenhouse gases when producing electricity, directly called solar energy. It consists of an arrangement of several components, including solar panels, solar inverter, mounting, cabling, and other electrical accessories to set up a working system. Solar panels are used to convert light from the sun, which is composed of particles of energy called photons, into electricity that can be used to power electrical loads. In this project, the focus will be using solar energy as a renewable energy system to be implemented in a single-story house. So, for the problem statement, I will pass it to the Siti Fatimah.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatima. For the problem statement, I will explain about this part. First, to ensure the maximum demand for a single story house in an urban area is limited to 3 kilowatt only, it is because the maximum demand for a single story as stated in the Electrical Supply Application Handbook is that provided by the National Berhad, the MB is 3 kilowatt. And second, how much load power should be carried by solar photovoltaic system? To select a charge controller, we need to make sure the solar charge controller has enough capacity to handle the correct current from PV array. The third, the use of solar photovoltaic system place and solar radiation condition. The solar technology converts sunlight into electrical energy through PV panel that concentrate solar radiation, which this energy used to generate electricity. For the last one, modeling of prototype design of renewable generation system using professional software. In our project, we use AutoCAD and SketchUp to make the prototype. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anurashra binti Muhammad Nurzaki and my metric number is AE18085. There are four main objectives of this group project assignment. The first one is to design and develop the model of renewable generation for the chosen building by using any kind of prototype software. Secondly, to analyze and evaluate the demand for the energy for the chosen building. The third one is to estimate the energy cost saving after the planned renewable generation has been introduced for the chosen building. And the last one is to estimate the average cost electrical per month of the electrical system of the chosen building using the required electrical tariff. So that's all for the objective. Thank you.
For the first flowchart is the general generation process for the solar panel. First, the sunlight activates the solar panel. Next, the solar cell in the panel produces electric current. The electrical energy is converted from DC to AC electricity. The converted electricity power the house, and a net meter is used to measure the usage. For more specific, the solar panel converts sunlight into DC electricity to charge the battery. Then the DC electricity is fed to the battery via a solar regulator to ensure battery is charged properly and not damaged. The DC appliance can be powered directly from battery, but an AC appliance requires an inverter to convert the DC electricity to AC electricity. The controller provide optimal charging efficiency. The light from the sun may not enough to reliably charge battery in winter or bad weather. Many power loads also require standard AC current. For both the reason, an inverter is required to keep battery adequately charged and provide power that can be widely used. Inverters are not equipped to directly charge battery from DC provided by an PV array. A controller is needed to approximately match the PV voltage to battery and regulate charging. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hairul Aiman Jalani, AE 1700. Okay, so I wish present about the design that we use for the renewable generation model system that we implement for our single story house. So, firstly, we will use the off-grid system. Okay, for the off-grid, for the solar panel, we will use the monocrystalline solar panel. So it will provide the electric system to the system with the sufficient of the sunlight. Okay, after that current we go to the solar charge controller, which is function for the manage the power into the battery. It also prevent the current for the reverse current, which would drain the battery when the sunlight is not shining. Okay, so we will use about 50 ampere at 12 volt for the battery. Okay, we use 12 volt, 200 ampere per hour. So the function of this battery, it will store the DC power from the inverter. So for the use in the home. Okay, after that we will talk about the inverter. Okay, for the inverter, well, we will use about 25 to 30% bigger size. So we will use about 8,000 watt and above. This is because this inverter is to convert the DC power that generate from the solar panel array into the AC power. As I said earlier, it also invert with the battery to store the excess power. For the inverter, they will go into the meter grid net meter before it connect to the grid power. Okay, this is used for when the battery is not used. So we will use for the grid power we use power from the grid power. Okay. The inverter also we connect to the house for the house use. Okay, that's all from me for the renewable generation system that we implement on the single story house. Okay, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurdini Syara binti Mak Zamrif. My credit card number of AE180035 will be presenting you about the load calculation. So to look first, these are the 12 types of load that we use in our single story house, where the quantity is ranging from 1 up to 8, where we adjusted it according to the size of our floor plan design. And to get the total connected load, we multiply the void with the quantity of each load, and the demand factor we estimate it according to the usage of the load that might be used the most, where we assume the wall clock man and clock lamp will be having the highest demand needed. And to get the maximum demand, we multiply the total connected load with the demand factor, and we get the total maximum demand around 2.7 kilowatt. So these are the summary or table of our load calculation, where the coincidence factor is 0.9 according to the residential, and the maximum demand we get around 2.4 kilowatt by multiplying the total maximum demand with the coincidence factor. And to get the maximum current, we use this formula where um, V is the supply voltage, and according to residential it is 230 volt, and the cos theta is the average power, where we use 0.85 pf lagging given in the instruction. And this is the size of the main distribution board. We use 40 ampere as the SPR. And this is the total energy consumption, where we get around 454.56 kilowatt per hour for 30 days of usage. And this is total electricity bills, where we get around 156 ringgit Malaysia. And this is the total cost of the system, where we get around 56,000 ringgit Malaysia, where there are two factors that need to be considered in implementing the renewable generation system, where there are electricity expense, maintenance fee, as well as the product expense. So as you can see here, product expense will be having the highest fees of all three of these, because the equipment used in the implementing is quite expensive, where there are 17 solar panels, 1 inverter, 37 batteries, and 1 controller are needed in implementing the renewable generation system of using the solar panels. And this is the estimation of saving costs after 25 years of work, where we get around 23,000 ringgit by subtracting the after and before implementing the solar system in the single story house. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
This is our overall look of infographic. In this project, we are required to perform an infographic that perform comparative study between the existing, which is the conventional power generation, and chosen renewable generation model. Conventional generation produced from the natural energy resources which are present in a limited quantity and are being used for a long time. It is also called non-renewable generation. There are few types of conventional generation, which are coal, natural gas, petroleum, and others. For renewable generation, it is produced from energy that collected from the renewable resources which are naturally replenished on human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, wave, and geothermal heat. There are few types of renewable generation, which is solar, biomass, geothermal, hydropower, and others. In this project, our chosen renewable generation is solar power station. There are two things that we have to compare in this infographic, which is comparison in costing and also comparison in environmental effect. Let's take a look on comparison in costing. For conventional generation, it is lower cost but high expenses. For the example, the fuel that need to burn to produce the electricity is not costly, but as the time goes on, one need to pay bill day by day, then it will surely use high expenses. For the solar power station, it is highly investment cost at first, but it is long-term saving. The installation costs of solar panels are relatively high. However, after the installation is complete, the energy is free because it is depends on the sun's low maintenance costs and saving through lowering electrical bills. For the comparison in environmental effect, for conventional generation, fossil fuels create a lot of pollutants. There are a few types of pollution that can be happen such as air pollution, acid rain, and also greenhouse gases. For renewable generation that we choose, which is solar power station, it is environmental friendly and do not produce air pollution or greenhouse gases. I think that's all for our infographic. Thank you.
So after completing this group project, we are able to design and develop the model of renewable generation for the single story by using SketchUp. Second, we are able to estimate the energy cost saving. Third is we are able to estimate the average cost of electrical energy per month. The fourth one is it can enhance the knowledge and capability of using software to draw and sketch the 2D floor plan and also their prototype. And the last one is it also can enhance the capability and ability of our teamwork to solve the problem that related to the power generation, transmission, and distribution field.